Hey everyone, and welcome Evil PC Gaming, bringing you Assetto Corsa today. I bought it about a week or so ago, just haven't got around to doing any recordings of it. Got it back on Steam when it was on sale for $20, and I gotta say it was worth every penny of that purchase. I was a little hesitant to buy it at $40, just thinking it was just going to be your typical everyday racing game. I mean, I'm not a racing professional when it comes to the games, but I've got to say this game seems to be getting it right 100%. Now, all the video that you see while I'm speaking is all in-game video that I personally recorded. It's not anything from the publisher's website, you know, to tweak the quality and make the game look better than what it is. This is just using the replay camera after running the cars around for a little bit, and I just have them cycling through a couple different of the cars. And speaking of cars, there's tons of cars to pick from. There's a few production cars, such as the BMW 1M, the Lotus Elise. There's also GT cars. I'm not going to go through every single one, but there's BMW GT cars, there's Lotus Evol. There's GTR cars, such as McLaren, the MP4, the BMW Z4, there's an M3, there's also classic GP cars, such as the classic Lotus Indy F1 cars. There's also supercars, lots of supercars in here. The Ferrari, the old Ferrari F40, the Ferrari 458, some other Ferraris, the McLaren, just the street version, the MP4, Mercedes SLS AMG, which was just added. The car is very sexy looking. Hard to handle, but nice looking. What else was in there? Man, there's different Lotuses, Paganis. There's also track day cars, which again, there's more variants of Lotus. The KTM, which you'll see here in a little bit. It's like a little two-seater open-top dune buggy looking car. And then there is yeah, some newer F1 cars also that I gotta say, you get the feeling of the high speed that you're going through. Now when I'm playing this game, I'm playing with the Logitech G27. Now the G27 of course has the paddle shifters and the 6-speed H-gate. And with this wheel, what I really like is when I hop in an F1 car and it has paddle shifters, I don't have to go into my controls, tell it now I want to shift my transmission with my paddle shifters to get the realism of the vehicle. It automatically, I cannot use the H shifter down on my desk. So I have to go over to the paddles. That's awesome. Now when I flip over, I don't know, one of the BMW M4, for example, I think it has a 6-speed. Maybe it was the M3. I forget. There's too many cars and variants in there. But when I flip over that and I have a 6-speed car, I have to go down to the H shifter and shift my gears that way. And of course, you know, you can stall the vehicle. And another feature that I really liked that I really haven't experienced in any other driving games is if you don't have the clutch down properly and you go into gear, your car will go into neutral, but it will grind. It will make a grinding noise when you're trying to get into the next gear, and it won't go. You have to depress the clutch all the way properly to the engagement point to allow the car to go into gear. Now, one thing to remember on the game, it is an early access game, just pretty much like every other damn game that you buy out there now. Early access, beta, alpha, whatever you want to call it. But so far, this game, even though it will require some work, I'm hoping they bring in physical body damage. Right now, you can like damage your engine, blow it up, you know, by downshifting too high of an RPM, blow it up, you're dead on the track, and you're done. You do crash into the walls and stuff, and there is a damage meter. But it really doesn't seem to affect the driving too much. Not that I've seen so far yet. But again, early access, and I'm sure those kind of features will come. As you just saw, it crashed the Ferrari into the wall and the front end didn't crush up. I would like to see that. Now, as far as tracks go right now in game, there are about 15 tracks that I believe I counted. I could be off one or two. They are all laser scan tracks. Some of the tracks are like the there's a drag strip, which really doesn't serve that much purpose in this game because you can't tweak the settings of the engine Now you can tweak the settings of your suspension and your tires and the ride height, aerodynamics, the gear range and so forth. So maybe the drag strip would have a little bit of an advantage for testing cars and so forth, but these cars are designed to go into turns, left and right turns, and you got to go from there. You have other tracks like Silverstone, Monza, and then they have a Monza historic 1966 circuit. There's what else is there? There's a lot of tracks on there I can't even pronounce the name of, like Nürburgring. I don't know. Someone's probably going to beat me up on that one. But I'm sure more tracks will be coming. The detail of the tracks are pretty damn good. The handling of the game, I gotta say, is insane. I'm pretty much 2 hands on the wheel. I mean, I have the force feedback set to 100%, and you can feel the bumps in the racetrack. You get up on the curbs, and you feel the ridges in the curbs, and it's affecting the handling of the car. You can pretty much feel like the back end let loose, and the way the wheel wants to kind of violently, correct itself. And sometimes you find yourself fighting to stay on the track, which is, I think, awesome, because it's adding to the immersion of the game. This is not an arcade game. Now, some of you guys probably caught that, I was putting the crew videos up. I did have beta access, and yes, I did, and yes, that game is fun, but I would not give you $60 for that game because I'm not too much into arcade-ish type games. Now, simulation games like this I can get into. And there are some cars that, playing with the steering wheel and having that force feedback fight you, the cars I find are very, very difficult to handle. I mean, this isn't the kind of game where you just stomp the gas pedal down and your car's going to go straight down the road, or maybe a little bit of a fishtail for some effect. I mean, this game, you got to ease into the gas pedal on some of the very, very fast vehicles. Or when you're in a turn, you have to kind of come off of the clutch lightly and feather the clutch off, because if you just pop it, all the torque goes to the rear wheels, and the rear wheels will break loose and set you into a spin. So I can tell this game is going to take a very good skill set to keep a car on a track and be competitive in racing. And speaking of competitive, I do have a server up at our community that runs 24/7, and donating members can actually win cash money in races for registering for a race and getting in. All the rules are at the forum. You can click the link down below if you want to find out some more information on that. But yeah, for the 20 bucks, more than worth it. For the 40 bucks, still worth it. If you want a simulation racing game without just left-hand turns, I suggest you head over to Steam, pick this title up. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. That, and it's always getting improved. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me. So as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.